Hey everybody, we are back. I'm so excited. Tonia Reeves, Australia's Cowgirl Medium, here with the awesome Tony Kiss, the Human Repair Shop. Tony,
Hello,
how are
you?
you?
I'm
It
good.
feels-
I'm not the one who's been traveling all overseas and that kind of stuff, man. Come on, where are you going? I've been
Oh,
working here. I've been like doing
excellent.
stuff, like worky stuff, that
Yep,
kind of stuff. Yeah. What about you? How was your trip? You're looking fantastic.
awesome. Yeah, really, really awesome. It seems surreal that, we were in Sydney with you guys. What was that, 2.5, 3 weeks ago, maybe?
Something like that. Yeah. 3 weeks ago, I think it was. Yes.
Yeah. So pretty much from Sydney, then we flew back to Melbourne and had a couple of hours sleep and flew out to London on the Monday.
Yep.
So we left, I think it flew out about 5 a.m. And then flew to Dubai, and we only had an hour stop over there. So it was great. And then just continued on to London. So
Nice.
crazy, and then flew back in last Wednesday night. We flew back in, and then I had the MBS on the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And
Wow, you must be absolutely exhausted.
this week's my week off. Like, I pretty much marked out this week to just be able to, gather everything back together and, get back into routine. So, yeah, I'm really excited.
Brilliant.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jeanette, I'm so excited. Jeanette's back with us. Yay. Go, Jeanette. And Gay. Woohoo.
And Gay as well, both of you. Hi, hey, you guys must have a few questions for Tonia being overseas. Tell us, you went over there. What was it like? Did you went over to the equivalent of their Mind Body Spirit Festival? Is that correct, in London?
It was really funny because I was telling the MBS in Melbourne, like, they don't do it like we do it. Like, everything's small over there, including, cars. We notice, like, motorhomes, caravans, everything's tiny. And the same with the festival. Like, the festival itself is kind of big, but the actual stages, like, we have a stage that'd be 3 times the size of theirs. We have an audience that would be 4 times the size of theirs. Like, we just do it big over here, like, literally. And it was great over there. The energy was lovely. The festival itself was amazing. The people that were there, really welcoming. I met some amazing new connections over there. And my card deck sold out the quickest. I was laughing to Scott and Trudy. I'm going to take on this challenge. And not that, like, I'm not salesperson 101 by any means, but it was just great to see, them lapping it up. And even when I was off the stand and Trudy was there, she sold as many card decks as I did of mine. And so, it wasn't just a case of me being there. It was really just they were, it was obviously what they were drawn to. So that was really cool.
Nice. Did you get the opportunity to get up on stage at all?
We didn't. I was more Scott's supporter. They have a lot of mediums over there. So there's a massive contingent already in the the UK. So it was just great to be able to enjoy that. And I got to meet my favorite all-time medium of all time, and that's Gordon Smith, who's based in Scotland. And we had a great
Tell us
chat.
about Gordon Smith. Yeah, what's his story?
A massive following. So he has been around forever, but he started off as a barber. So he had his barber shop and then stepped into, his gifts, but he stepped into them at a young age. So he's been doing this line of work for many, many years. And he's just a real humble soul. He's written many books. He's just released his card deck that I grabbed one while I was there. And it was really lucky because he was on the Hay House stand and he was there at 2:30. And I'd said to Andrew, I said, do not let me forget I'm going to meet Gordon. He's my hero, And at 3:00, Andrew's like, aren't you meant to be going over to the stand? And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, Trudy, bye. I was like, I was like running to the stand, like, I've got to see Gordon. And would you believe there was no one there? He was just standing there at the Hay House. So I could see probably everyone had gone at 2:30 and he was just happened to have that break. So we got to chat to him talking about Scotland because Andrew was like, we want to go to Scotland. I want to find the Loch Ness Monster. And Gordon's laughing it off. He's like, I'm an ambassador for Scotland tourism. He goes, yeah, mate, go and find it. Go and find it for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was nice. And did you guys have I suppose, a professional chat as well? Like, did you talk, did you share stories?
He'd love to come to Australia. And I said, we've got to get you to Australia. And he said to me, you get them, you gather them and I will come. And I'm like, I think and I do feel intuitively that I feel like that was probably one of the biggest reasons I need to be over there, and there'll be something will come of that. Like I just, as I was chatting to him, I'm like, and Scott's saying to me, Scott goes, bring him over. I go, aren't you meant to bring him over? I said, but yeah, I can bring him over. We just connected really well. He was really, he goes, love you Aussies. He goes, you don't care about anything. I said, no, we don't.
Yeah, brilliant. Look, and it's one of those things. It's where you guys have got such similar paths. Like you both hairdressers go back into and then gone into mediumship, which is really, really nice. So that would have been great.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then going to Scotland, it was kind of last minute. You know, we thought, well, we're going to go to Wales, going to go to Scotland. And Andrew was always hedging Scotland. And I was like, you know what? I'm easy. So we had like 7 days. And Andrew had enough of stinky London. He was like, he just couldn't deal with the smell. He's like, oh, so bad. And
really?
It isn't
Look, London's a busy place, though. You know,
it is. And there's so many people there, you know, it's really, really packed. So I think after 4 days at the MBS, you know, with lots of people and lots of stimulation, it was like, let's get out in the country. So it was Trudy that suggested, she's like, why don't you fly to Scotland? Then you saves you, you know, because it's going to be a day and a bit drive there and back. And so that's what we did. We flew from London to Inverness, and then we did sort of the north part of Scotland and the Isle of Skye, because it wasn't as busy as, you know, some of the bigger places that I suppose had lots of tourists. So that was kind of our driver. We had the best time. It was, we would next time hire a motorhome and do Scotland. Like, I would highly recommend that, because there's so many beautiful places and you can just stop it. They really cater for motorhomes over there. So, yeah, it's like anybody that wants to go to Scotland, just freaking do it. Seriously, do it and you will not regret it. It's stunning. At the moment, though, it's daylight till midnight.
Did that blow you away, that?
Yeah. Well, we had no idea. And we're like, why is it light? And it's like 10:30 at night. Yeah, crazy. So that was we learned something.
Oh, it sounds like you had a great time. Caroline's on board. She goes, oh, give me the Outlander vibes. Tasha's on board as well. Yeah, so it's amazing. It sounds like you connected with some amazing people, and it was a good trip for both of you to get away.
It was a good balance. Sure. Work and touring. So that was pretty cool. And then I came back to my Melbourne crew, and look, the MBSs here in Australia are so fantastically supportive of those that are on the main stage. Like, we all get together, and there's many of us now that we've kind of got to know each other. So everyone's got everyone's back. So I think by Sunday I was feeling a bit like, oh God, jet lag, you know. I was a bit, the first couple of days I'm like, yay. And then the last 2 were like, oh my God, okay, I really need to gather everything I've got. So my awesome team, Prem and Lou, were like, we're behind you, don't worry. So Prem's there firing up the country music before I get on. And it was really fun. He does do that. We have done that at times, but he really vamped it up. And you could see people like going, what? Like, it was actually a great thing to witness. The people going, music coming from somewhere. And they were all doing just like, normally they're drawn when you're doing readings anyway, but this was just like they were like, oh, I need to see what's going on over there, is what I could feel. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. I really like that. Nick's on board as well. Hello, Nick. Sam's on board, and I suppose a few of you, like, especially like yourself, Nick, where you've got your own book out and things like that, where you'd most probably want to ask Tonia a few questions about what the vibe was like over in the UK, from a spiritual point of view, or gaze on board, and anyway, like, just jump on board and just ask a question what it was like, or you know, it does sound like a great trip. Absolutely, it
was awesome. And Nick, your cards, they were loving your affirmation cards. It was so wonderful to see over there the response to the Aussie stand. And they were all very much like, wow, we don't see this kind of stuff over here that often. So they were quite excited to witness Margaret, who's off and on. It's probably not here this morning. I got to meet her in person with Nick's stand on the weekend, which was great. And they're, the Aussie affirmation cards that they were lapping those up as well. They were just like, oh my God, these are hilarious. And, some of them, they were reading them all, and it was funny in their accents, listening to them read our Aussie slang that Margaret and Carmen put together. and it was great. And Nick's, they were resonating with the artwork, Nick, and the messages, and you could really see over there affirmation cards are really big. Like they really love their affirmation cards. Yeah.
Wow. Would it give you motivation to go over there and sell some more cards, I suppose?
Well, Scott was like, I'll get you on stage next time. And I'm like, I don't, to me, I just loved, it was great fun being over there. The UK for me, I'm not sure it's I'm drawn more to US and Canada, I'll be honest. Like, as in for
absolutely.
Work-wise, I think for me, like, as much as I was welcomed over there and they're just so lovely, so I'm just not sure that's necessarily the direction that I'll be taken to. That's from my guides.
Yeah, that's it. You got to go with what's right. Yeah. Because when are you heading over to the US or Canada? Is that later on this year or?
No, I think like it'll be. I'm a little bit done with traveling. Like I just not done with traveling, but it's been a massive year. This first half was always going to be pretty crazy. So this next 6 months are just really, I suppose traveling, doing a bit around Australia, but it's not so much overseas again. Probably next year and maybe the second half is what I'm thinking. So who knows? But enjoying it. I've got a show. Yeah, I've got a show down at Queenscliff into not this Friday, the next Friday. That's quite a big show. That tickets have sold really well there, and we've also got the Outback Festival in Broken Hill. So that's been cool.
So what's the Outback Festival? It sounds pretty cool.
It's my vibe. I'm like, I can't wait. So Broken Hill at the Outback Festival, and I'm encouraging anyone, do a road trip. It's going to be a lot of fun. The lady organising it, Julie's incredible, and she's gathered a really great group of so many different variety of talents. It's really really cool. So that's going to go off. It's the first time it's been ran there, and I'm just excited being country. And the actual Outback Resort where we're going to be is pretty amazing. So that's I think around the 26th of August. So that'll be sort of later. And then September we get to do our truck show as well as the beautiful Orla and Tony's wedding. I can't wait for that.
It's all happening, isn't it? It is. But I'm excited for you. Got some really good stuff coming up. Lacey's on board. She goes, first time he had a love message from my sister. Lacey, that would be absolutely awesome. So basically what we don't do private readings on here because we never know what's going to come up, and basically but if you do want to have one, we encourage you to get in touch with Tonia here on just a private message, and then she'll get back to you straight away.
Absolutely. And Lacey, I do many different forms of readings. It doesn't have to be in person. My email readings, which are like $55, I can, I record those between 10 and 15 minutes. They're an easy one. Not expensive. If you want to, get some messages through, more than happy to do that for you. Nick said here it was good to be back in the energy. So Nick was at the Mind, Body and Spirit Festival. How are you feeling, Nick? Because he had 4 full days. And every time I went past, he was absolutely snowed under. I snapped some photos, Nick, so that you can use them in promotion, because I know what it's like when you're busy. You just don't get a chance to take photos.
Yep, absolutely. Right. Nick, I'd love to know how you went. As you said, he said it felt good to be back in the energy of it. It was good to sit in what I believe, which is always a nice place to know you. It's nice to go to your spiritual home, isn't it, Nick? You just sit in there and as you were saying, like the Outbacks for you and go to different festivals. It's nice to be there. Geordie James is on board as well. Good to see you there, Geordie. Did Geordie? Who did you go down to?
Yes. Geordie was at the MBS. I got to see her in person. We were laughing because we live 10 minutes away from each other, and it takes us to go to a festival to catch up.
That's always the case. It is. That would have been nice. And Geordie, did she do any work there, or did she just hang out
Geordie was doing readings in the reading room, and she's always booked out pretty quickly. Like, she's got quite a reputation at the MBS, so it doesn't take much for her bookings to be pretty sold out fairly quickly. I've got a shout out to Gay for there was a lady that commented that was a friend of yours, and she stayed around for my show on the weekend thanks to Gay's recommendation, and she
Oh,
yeah, she was pretty wrapped with it. So I have to say thanks, Kay, for the recommendation. That was awesome.
yeah,
Geordie,
that's
stay
always
on
good.
page. You can do that. Of course you can. Geordie's here apologising. I was on my don't apologise. Be on your business page. We're fine with that.
It is what it is, what we say. Jeanette, thank you very much for the congrats. That's always good. But yeah, but look, it's some exciting stuff going around. It sounds like the spiritual community is really taking off at the moment, as in like more events are happening. It sounds like is that what we're picking up here?
Absolutely. I think, we're at that second half of the year approach. And I always think, that tends to be especially when, I suppose we tend to consolidate that first 6 months, and the second 6 months we hit our stride, I feel, for the majority of us. And it really is about direction. I'd love to hear if others are finding that we're really being shown our path quite clearly. And there's a lot of lessons that, we've not lessons, but almost like challenges we've had that we've kind of navigated, and now we're ready to really step up. So I'm really interested to hear if others are finding that sometimes we're on a different trajectory to what we thought we were going to be at the beginning of the year too.
Yeah, that would be interesting to know, because we've talked about jumping into change a lot this year, and just going with it. So it sounds like for a few of you, like Geordie's really going really well with her spiritual stuff. Sounds like Nick's really, going well. It sounds like you're doing fantastically well. So there is some good stuff there happening. I wonder who else is going through it, and what's it like now that you made a transition and actually gotten into a lane that works well for you, I suppose.
And I think it's about trusting that inner guidance. We had I had a group of ladies at the MBS on the weekend, and they were chatting, going, "How can we connect with you?" And I said, "Look, I run retreats. You girls would love that." And they were like, "We're in. When is it?" So I put a
Oh, wow.
retreat up. Because
Yep.
I'm home for the next couple of months, and
Yep.
I was like, right, I'm going to throw some retreats out there. And seriously, I think I'll put the one for next month out on the weekend, and I've got 2 spots left. So it's
Oh, wow.
absolutely,
That's
yeah,
amazing, Tonia. That's
yeah.
really,
So
really
that was
cool.
just following the guidance. And I think for many of us, if we just take that time to sit back and trust in that guidance that we're given, and often it will be someone will talk to you about something, like, "Oh, we're doing this." And you think, "Oh, I'm feeling the pull. I need to be doing that."
Yeah. Yep. Okay, that's pretty cool to go with that, Paul, and you've got the results there quite quickly, which is quite nice. Really, really nice. Jeanette, she goes, "Yes, I quit my full-time job." What happened there?
Yeah.
That's
Well, Jeanette
new.
had that. Yes, she had that time where she worked in a job and did and more or less she more or less did that as getting her feet for up there, and really extending and making new friends, and, really getting the foundations done. And it's like now she's ready to really step into, what she does best and what she's born here to do. So we've connected a couple of times, and it's just like, yeah, I'm excited for her, because she's really in that second stage of, woo, let's get this party started. And I'm excited to see what Jeanette steps into, because I really feel like it's her time.
Yeah,
So yeah.
nice. That's really cool. I wonder if Jeanette knows what she's going to step into though, or is it still up there in the air? Is it?
Well, I think she's stepping into her spiritual, like she was in that zone, but I think she really needed to get into the energy up there. When you move into a new location, it's about trying to, navigate new people, new surroundings, and all the rest of it. So I
Yeah.
think she's back bigger and better than ever with her spiritual side, doing readings and healings, and getting groups of women together. And I just
Yep.
see that being really successful. She's even looking at a shop, the potential to look at, having a rental space that she can utilize. And then I can come up and do some shows there, Jeanette, for you. So, yeah, we're working.
Yeah, that'll be brilliant. That's what it's all about. I think it's really cool. Nick, he's excited about. It sounds like he's going to the retreat. I think is
Yes,
Samantha
yes, I'm
coming
so
as well.
excited. Yep, Nick's
Yep.
on board, Sam's on board. We have
Great.
got the best group. Seriously, we've got the best group coming together for the retreat. It's
Oh,
just
nice.
yeah, just incredible. Like, and just the enthusiasm. And I think it really shows how we really want to get back and be connected again. And
Yes.
that
Yep.
everything's been online for so long, but I
Yep.
just see this wanting to gather as human beings in groups is really strong. And you can see it at the Mind, Body and Spirit Festival. It's back to being, full on, flat out. People are out and about. They're not holding back. Whereas I think it took us that time coming out of, being in lockdown to then suddenly be, in amongst people again. And I think people are really excited about that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it is. It feels like that for sure. Absolutely, which is really, really nice. Jeanette's excited. She goes, yes, yeah, she's excited.
Yeah.
She wants you up there. So that will be really cool.
So, yeah, things happen for a reason, and it's about following that guidance. And, I know I've had that conversation with many during readings over the last few months that people are trusting more than ever before to follow the signs. If they're not happy with something, they're looking for, they're open to the opportunities that come. And in most cases, the opportunities can be rather different to what we think they might be. So sometimes it just is about being an allowance of that and saying, okay, guys, where do I need to be? Show me the answers here.
Yeah, and that is just being open to that space, and hopefully it happens for all of us sooner rather than later. That's what I hope for.
And you guys have been busy now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've been busy up here, so the clinic's always kicking on. So still trying to get another therapist on board. So see how we go with that. So it's one of those things. But yeah,
I think you need to do, Tony. I think you need to do one of your funny ads for somebody.
Yeah, I should actually.
A bit of humour. Throw in that.
Always good.
It is. Come and join the team of, I think it would be a lot of fun if you, solve their problems before they start. They want to work in a great fun environment. Fun environment. You want to be valued for what you do. Do you want to, have a joke every morning, a dad joke that you might have to practice laughing at? A Tony dad joke is part of the job requirement.
Yeah, exactly. That would be that wouldn't be too bad actually. That would be pretty good. They'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. Coming, it would be hard, these kids. But no, look, it is. It's just finding the right fit, and I suppose it's not panicking and not just jumping in at anything, just waiting for that right person to come along and knowing that it's going to be there. So, look, we've got a couple of interviews coming up, I think, next week. So see how they go.
Do you have any men?
Sorry?
Do you have any men that you're interviewing, or they're all women?
Interviewed one kid who came over, one guy who came over. He just landed in Australia. He's from Ireland, and he had all the credentials and everything like that to go. And we sat down with him and like, took it. You psychics are like this. Use your intuition. And I just thought, dude, you don't want to be working straight away. Like, you want to go check out the country, do this, that, the other. He goes, yeah, I don't know what I want to do. He goes, I don't know if I want to work full-time, part-time. I don't know when I need to get money. I'm living off savings and blah, 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 blah. I said, you know what, go sort yourself out. Come back in a couple of months and we'll have a chat. How's that sound? So, it's better to do that than throw him into something and then he's going to have a regret later. He needs a good work-life balance when you first come over. So, yeah, that's one of the things.
Interesting.
Jeanette says, I sound like a tired dad. Am I practicing? No, not practicing at all. Thank you, Jeanette, but I like that. Yeah, I do say, look, I haven't had much sleep. I'll be honest with you. I've mostly had a couple of hours in the last 24. So we're doing well. We're firing well. But yeah, no, I'll get there. I'll prep it up. Sean's on board as well. How are you? Home from the Whirlwind tour. From Sean, absolutely. No, very proud of you, Ton. I think you're just going from strength to strength. I think if you keep this momentum going, and if we get some good momentum in Australia, you never know what could happen in the States. They'll just pick you up, and then that will be it.
Absolutely, and I'm open to. I don't necessarily have any preconceived ideas on what it needs to look like. It's just like, you know what, whatever comes along, I'll either, if it feels right, yes, if not, no. And as long as it involves fun for me, that's my main thing.
Yeah, that's it. That's got to be the factor to it, doesn't it? If it's not fun, it's not worth doing. Forget about it.
Exactly.
I like that motto. It really, really is. I was just going to ask you about the UK. How are people in the UK in the sense of what the vibe? What is the vibe like over there? Like here, it feels like we've just come out of COVID. Everything's really good. There's a lot more optimism out there. What was it like over there? Because London's London at the end of the day, but
It was
um,
hilarious. At first, they were all like, "Oh my God, are you guys okay?" Because obviously the media over there had us locked up for a long time. Like they were
yeah,
just like, "Are you Aussies okay?" You know, but they were really the concern, the genuine concern, like, "Oh my God, you know, how did you survive it?" And I was a bit like, "What?" Because
yeah,
you know, get on with it being us. It's like you don't even think about it, you know.
yeah,
And yeah, and so they were really like, "Oh my God, it must have been so hard," you know, because I suppose they weren't as locked up
yeah.
as what we were. So they were not in that, you know, the space of having those restrictions like we did. So they couldn't get their head around it. But I do believe the media's blown it up to make it sound like we're all, you know, put in jail here.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But no,
Exactly.
they're really
Go on.
sorry. They're really interesting over there. They're really they love Aussie, so that was great. You know, they were really interested to engage with us, and they were a lot of fun. You know, and I love for the most part, a lot of the Londoners are just straight up. They're really
Yep.
straight up. I had a lovely girl who bought my last deck of cards that I had there. She her brother had passed away, so
Oh
she
wow.
shuffled the cards and got a message, and she was like, "I want this deck." And I'm like, there were cards missing, like literally. I think
Okay.
I'd handed some out, so it was like 6 cards missing. I'm like, "There's cards missing." She goes, "No, no, 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 you don't know. This has given me the answers that I need for my, you know, my
Okay.
brother." So she took though that card deck. That was the last deck we had there, or we thought
That's
it was, and
nice.
then we found
Yeah.
2 more decks. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but so she was gorgeous, and she was like, "Oh, I so resonate with the messages," and it was just funny to see. Like she didn't care there were cards missing. I was like, I don't care. I've
That's
this.
hilarious. But there was something powerful for her where she really wanted to connect and she just felt that was the tool. And I think that's, do you get a lot of stories like that where people have used your cards in that sense where they can
Oh,
connect to people that have passed?
absolutely. The feedback is amazing, and it never ceases to amaze me when I do get the feedback. And at the MBSs, you know, people jump on. Like I sell a lot when I'm out and about, and you know, the feedback that I get days later is, "Oh my God, like, you know, this is," people will share stories, and it's so wonderful to hear how, you know, they've been touched by the messages from the card deck. And it's like, that's exactly, you know, the reason that I created them was for people to connect not only with the messages, but with
Yeah.
the artwork and the feeling behind them. And really it's kind of that feeling that they get that is incredible to me, because that was the intention. And you know, when you put something out there, you hope that it lands, but it's
Yeah,
certainly
yeah, yeah.
another story to hear it land. Emma's from
Yes.
the UK. Hey, Emma.
Hey Emma, how are you? You're up what is she up early, late? What is she? What is she? 9 hours behind?
Yes. So
Something like
I
that.
couldn't get used to I was like, Andrew was like, in Australia, it is 10 o'clock. And I'm like, okay.
Ah, it's good on you, Andrew. We're over in the UK now. Let's just stay there. Um, here you go. Carmen says your cards are magical, Tonya. I use them in my readings all the time. Carmen, I
Oh,
would love to know your experiences with using them. Like, what have you got out of them? Like, do you use them as a doing readings for others or just for yourself? That's what I'd be interested for, because people could do it for readings for others as well, couldn't they?
that's it. Yeah, Carmen is a reader. So she
Oh,
readings. Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
So yeah, so that's and I have had a lot of mediums that have been using my cards, like, and some of them maybe that fully haven't stepped into their mediumship. So they, you
Yep.
know, they advertise that they do psychic readings, and then you get the cards, and it gives them the support to step into it. Like I say to
Yeah.
people, they're just a tool. There's a beautiful lady on TikTok, a young girl. She's stunning and she presents herself so well. I think her name's Chelsea, and she always she uses my cards with her mediumship readings on TikTok, and she's an incredible, the essence of her is beautiful. And she's messaged me and said, Tonia, your cards were pivotal in me stepping into my mediumship. So I was like, oh my God, so it was so cool to hear that.
Yep. That is like Carmen says, thanks for answering this, Carmen. She goes, for others, connecting with the messages for their passed over loved ones. So it is pretty cool. So as you said, it's a really good tool to use. And as you know, the more experience that you get, the cards you don't really need whatsoever. So you're connected with spirit and you've got that clear line. But I suppose what the cards can do is a confirmation of what you may be hearing or what should be coming through or whatever. So then it starts to build up your, I suppose, spiritual muscles to go, okay, no, I've got this right. Okay, I'm on the right path. I get this. Now I see the pattern, or I can hear it a lot clearer. So, Carmen, that's pretty cool. Jeanette needs to absolutely get some, order some in. Sean's quite funny where he goes, this might be a special edition, this card deck that you sold with 6 cards less. He goes, because you can't get a no or a wrong answer if that card's missing. Might be a good selling point. Actually, Sean, I think you've actually nailed it. I think that's pretty good.
See, with the mediumship deck, you've got your main cards. So I've got like mum, dad, brother, sister, grandmother, grandfather. I've got pets. So using the cards, when those cards come up, like if I'm shuffling them before I would connect with somebody and up comes the mother card. Well, I know I'm connecting to someone whose mother's passed. So they are quite specific in that way for people that are reading. And it's not, I say to people, like, we all have that gift to be able to connect to people that have passed, but it's great to have that visual anchor to say to people, yeah, I've got, this is the card that's come out for you. And even for those that aren't doing readings, they're able to use that card. So probably one of the biggest problems that I find that I would solve or help people solve when I do shows is people doubt the messages that come. They doubt the signs. The deck will help anchor that. And that's what I say to them. This is basically just a tool, but it will help anchor that energy. I want to connect to mum. I'm not sensing her around. So how can I amplify that? I'll get the card deck. I've got the mother card. That's going to help me. Yeah,
right. That makes a lot of good sense because you'd have that little voice of doubt in your head when you've got too many thoughts going on and things like that. You go, oh, I don't know. I think I might have stuffed this one up. And then you go, yep. And then Jeanette says, yep, you need that visual cue sometimes.
Absolutely.
Which is really, really important, which is going to, as we said, helps you grow your confidence as a reader. That's for sure. And then you get better and better at it. And then, because, Tonia, people think this shit happens overnight, but it doesn't, does it? It's sort of like you've got to really work at it.
You can't go to the gym and start picking up 100 kilo weights. And that's what I say to people. Like, you don't start from there. You start and you work your way up. And for some, it's a quicker journey than others, but any step forward is a progression, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. And it's Zonta. Zonta's on board as well. Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. It is, yeah. So it's one of those things where I remember the Scottish guy that you were saying, what's his name? Gordon?
Yep.
Yeah. I remember listening to him on a radio station here in Sydney. I reckon about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. He was. I only remember the story because when you started saying it, you go, he's a hairdresser, he's from Scotland, all that. Oh, that was that dude. And he's a really nice, down to earth bloke. So I'm really happy you got to meet him. And he was. Yeah, go on.
No, sorry, keep sharing your story.
No, go
interrupting.
On. No.
Yeah, he was. That's what I loved about. He's so down to earth, no pretentiousness at all.
Yeah.
Very much
he was a great character, and he said he started off when he goes, it was easy for him. This is how I remember the story, because he would do readings whilst he was doing haircuts, but his accuracy wasn't important because it was more getting the haircut right than anything else. And people would just be confirming, go, yep, that's right. And he's going, oh, holy shit. He goes, I got a gift here. So he kept on building on that, and that's how he did. But he was quite nice in the sense where when he was on the radio, and it's exactly what you do, Tonya, exactly the same thing. He goes, he teaches people also how to connect with past ones that have passed away on their own. Like, he'll say, sit in front of a mirror, put a candle on, close your eyes, do all that kind of stuff, and just think of the person for whatever it may be. Yeah, so I'm glad that he's still doing it. I'd love to see the two of you guys do a show together. I think that would be brilliant. That would be really, really good.
Oh, I'd love to get him out to Australia. I think he's just so, and his assistant, he's had a lovely lady. He was like his sister. They weren't related, because I said to her, "You must be his sister," and she's like, "No, we're not." But they just looked like they were. I said, "Well, not by blood, but by all other aspects." And she said, "Yeah, I talk to him every day." And so I had a great chat with her as well. So
nice.
So I feel like, what's meant to be will be. And I wouldn't be surprised if we can get the Scotsman out, because I know
absolutely.
I can massive. We could feel like he would have hundreds, probably thousands of people that would jump on to see him.
Yep. And you'd most have to do the same thing where you do like the Outback tour, where you do a couple of towns and you go through, and it would be a lot of fun.
He would be like Melbourne. See, Gordon used to come out with the I Can Do It. So Hay House is who he's through. So they're massive.
Oh, okay.
They haven't done an I Can Do It over here in Oz for many, many years. It's such a shame, because that was a great, great way to be able to connect with all of the Hay House, representatives, and he's one of them. So
yeah, right. Yeah, because Hay House is one of the biggest heavy hitters in that spiritual. Yeah. Are they still the number one guys? Who is it Leon that runs it here in Australia?
Yes, yes. I can't think of. Yeah, you're right.
Leon Naxon or something like that.
Somebody.
I think it's Naxon or something of that sort of feel. But yeah, I remember he was his first person that he signed up here in Australia was Deepak Chopra.
Okay.
That's how he got started. He was on the couch and drinking beer, eating pizza, overweight, and in his own wonderful, misty sort of way, he was watching or listening to Deepak Chopra, and he goes, "Why isn't everybody listening to this shit?" So he went, "Okay, I'm going to bring him out to Australia." And that's how it started for him. And then he jumped on board with, is it Louise Hayes, who Hay House is?
Yeah.
And then jumped on board with it. And then they created whatever it was. I think Louise would have already had her own branding or something like that by then, wouldn't she? And he would have had to buy in or something.
I'd say so, yeah, absolutely. Because Louise pretty much started Hay House, and it just took off from there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So is that the banner that you want to be flying under, or because I know Scott's, I suppose, a rival to Hay House?
Yeah, Scott's like.
When I mean suppose, it's pretty much he's a rival.
We've had this conversation, and Scott said to me, "If Hay House approached you, I would, you would have to go with them." And I'm like, "Yes, but I'm very loyal, Scott, and I do love Animal Dreaming Publishing because we have a lot of fun." Hay House is a big conglomerate, but they do capture a massive audience as well. So
look, and that's the thing, Ton. It's like anything. Like I watch it through with stand-up comedians, and there's one management company that you want to get on board with, and you'll get all the gigs. They don't give you the best deals. They don't give you anything, but they give you really good stage time. They give you really good exposure. And I've seen really, really good comedians that have been very stubborn and very pig-headed about with what they should be getting and all these things. And so they don't get signed up. They don't get signed up by the bigger agency. And sometimes you've got to know just which agency to jump to, because you're doing the stuff that you'd love doing, which is getting in front of an audience, doing your readings or telling jokes or doing whatever it is. But you're getting the good quality sellout crowds. And that's what you want, opposed to like going out to the back of Burke somewhere and you're presenting to 12 people instead of 150. Yeah. So it's quite nice that Scott said that, but like, is Scott looking at growing as well?
Yeah, look, I think they were over in the UK for that, to be able to connect with others over there. And that's what I said to Scott, like getting some they've already got some big names on board. Like he's got Lisa Williams, he's got Carmel Baird, like, you know, they've got some big names. And Lisa jumped over from Hay House. She was with Hay House before.
Oh, okay.
Dreaming. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So, you know, and I think Scott and Trudy, it's like they'll expand as they need, and they definitely put it out there. But I suppose it's horses for courses. And like you say, I'm always guided to what, you know, whatever's meant to be will come along and be for sure. And I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't knock back an opportunity that's going to, like you say, you know, take you on that world stage. But certainly Animal Dreaming have given me that exposure, which I'm very grateful for, like with England and, you know, those kind of connections. So, yeah, who knows? Who knows? But
absolutely. Well, look, let's see what happens. Let's put it out there. But look, Avichka's on board. Avichka, how are you? Gilly's on board as well. Great to see you both on board. I'm just going to read out Avichka's message here. She goes, hello, TNT family. Hello to everybody she's saying there. So, yes, hello to you. Missed you both so much. Hope you had a great week. A few weeks of our family being sick since May, so it's been a challenge for my mental health, but doing great as hubby and I have really been a great team getting through it all. Very stressful 2 weeks. Oh, isn't that nice? I like how you guys can pull together and get through it. 2 weeks to homeschooling. My son has eczema, has flared up, so he can't go to school. Finally, an appointment for his allergy test on Saturday. So it's really nice. It's geez, when you get trying to get to the bottom of it, and everybody else knows on this feed, you know, whether it's yourself or it's for your kids, and you don't know what it is, like what's actually going on with these kids, what's the allergy. You just want to find out what it is, and then you can fix it. But yeah, I love the fact, Vichka, that you and your husband are working so well together. It would have been very draining on your mental health to have that. Everybody sick. Look, up here in Sydney and maybe up around your way as well, Vichka, yeah, everybody's been getting run down. Everybody's been getting the colds. I don't know if it's like that in Victoria, but really, like even myself, I've been really chesty lately and not much sleep. And so I feel you on that one. It's just one. And you know, it's really funny too, Tonia. Everybody goes, I don't feel too well, but it's not COVID. It's like,
I know everyone's like, it's sniffing.
I bumped into a fellow. I don't know about you. I bumped into a fellow the other day, and he was just saying, he goes, oh, I was sick the other week, and he goes, I was sick for days, and I just thought it was a common cold or whatever, and he did a COVID test just for shits and giggles, and it came up to be COVID. He goes, these are the most mild symptoms I've ever had in my life. This is a joke. Gilly's coming over to Australia. Yeah, come on over, Gilly. You'd love it. If you haven't been, welcome.
We'll help you,
come on
Gilly.
over.
Yeah, come and visit us. We will, you know, fly over and we will we'll help you work out an itinerary of where you need to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, that'll be great. But Gilly, you're saying this thing worse than COVID, sore throat, mucus, cough, exhaustion, May to June. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, it is quite interesting. Gay thinks you're incredible, looking so bright and bubbly after everything you've done. Goodness, just getting prepared for the viewings, taking me out for the day. Lovely. When are you starting your TikTok show? When are you starting your TikTok show? Sean asked. Would you do one, Tonia?
TikTok is massive reach. Yes, I agree, Sean. Like it's, people are really, really engaged on there, and it is a great platform to spread the word, especially worldwide. You know, it really is great to be able to share that. So I agree. And I actually had a couple of young girls come up after my show. I think it was Sydney, Tony. I can't remember. And they were like, Tonia, can you do some lives? Like, because I was giving them advice, and I said, you know, follow the signs. And they said to me, can we give you a sign? You need to do lives.
Yeah, right. Reading. Okay.
And I was like,
would you do it?
God damn it. Okay.
Would you do that though?
I can. It's just a time factor, you know, getting on and doing readings online is, you know, you need to sort of commit to either a weekly or something along that line. And I don't know, I haven't been drawn to really do readings over social media. That's fair enough. Look, you know, I'm open to it 100%, but it's not something, you know, I suppose, you know, I probably need to look at that kind of thing. But when I've sat with it, I've gone, I don't know that it's me.
Okay, that's cool. That's, you know what, I respect that. I think sometimes in life you've got to do what's you, Tonya. You know what? You don't have to go with what the mainstream is. I mean, um, I don't know. It's a hard one. I don't know if it's stubbornness talking from that point of view, or if it's pride.
That, that's what
You know,
I've sort of went, yeah, exactly. I was the same, Tony, because I thought, at our age, we kind of get set in our ways. But
yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, I
I've got
have
another
since
word for it. You just couldn't be rhymes with truck.
we fucked.
That's right. We get to the old age. I just couldn't be fucked. Honestly, that great idea, mate. But I'm not doing it. You can go shove it up your bum. I couldn't be stuffed because you do it one week, you do it the next week. It's like on and on and on. It is. It's. I think when you can live life on your terms, it's pretty cool. And you know where to push. You know where to do the gigs. You know where to do this, that, the other. Um, yeah, you're not the type of Hollywood starlet sort of medium. Do you know what I mean? Like the one that wants all the glory and all that kind of stuff.
No, I'm not
Your
chasing.
characters, nah,
Yeah,
you're a lot more down to earth.
absolutely. I'm not chasing the fame. There's a big difference, and I know there's a
Yeah,
lot in our the industry that are, and I think good luck to them, and I wish them all the best, and I would support anyone. Do you? That's the main thing is you
yeah,
have to do. And for me, I'm not after I'm here to have fun. I'm here to reach as many people as I can, but I'm not here to pawn myself out. If that
pouring
makes sense.
yourself out. Yes, that's right. That's the right words where you say. Yeah, 100. And it's just not your thing. It's just like you'd most probably feel like a dick being on TikTok going, okay, now we're going to do another reading. But it's, you know what? There was this ad on TV the other day. It was, you could ring a psychic, right? And it
Yep.
was something like you paid per minute. It was $2 something per minute, and like 15-minute readings. The maximum you could pay was $34 or something like. And I just thought, now TNT community, just hear me out for a second. And I say this with love and respect, but if you're pretty shitty at readings and you're just getting into them and you want to get better, this would be the best platform to bloody go on. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we need to start somewhere, and for some people, the support of being under a brand or, there's numerous ones at the Mind, Body and Spirit Festival, and they hold space for other. So they'll have the stand, and they have all the different psychics working in for them. And that's
Yeah.
a great way to start out. I started out like that. I started out with a lady. We did the Royal Melbourne show, and I just went under, I was still my name and it was still getting readings from me, but that's how I, started, and that's how things
Yeah.
built.
Like I
But
was seeing people like, Hannah, my friend Hannah, and all his
yeah,
friends, Hannah, who wants to get in. I go, mate, go do that because, but the worst thing is if you give a shit reading, I don't know who you are.
well,
And
well,
you don't get to,
if you do a shit reading, they're going to pay for 30 minutes to get the information out of you.
yeah, like what do you care? It's just you're trying. It's just getting paid whilst you're training. Here you go. Emma comes up. Emma, you've been sick with these symptoms for the past 2 years. Had a shot of whiskey and it helped. Emma, I love your advice. You've missed your calling. You should be a doctor. You'd be very, very good. I'd be your first patient. Yeah, Gilly comes up and Gilly trumps it with whiskey and garlic. Now, respect, Gilly. That's an interesting one. I'd give it a go. I don't know if I'd combine the two, but I like where you're coming from.
So, Gilly's put the Age of Influence. Watch this 6-episode thing that's on us. Where's that on, Gilly?
Gilly, enlighten us here in
Yes.
Australia.
And Gilly's, I'm sick of being through miss the connections to people. Yeah. It is about connecting. And I think there's that resonance. We just have to trust that. And that's what I say to people when I do the stage, like on the MBS, like afterwards, they all come up and they're all like, they'll all be around you and getting information and whatever. And I say to them there, I'm like, it doesn't bother me whether you choose me to do a reading or you're going to walk around the MBS and you might, decide to get a
Whatever.
reading. Like
Yeah.
whatever works, but you have to trust energy. And to me, if you're going to get a reading or a healing, you have to feel resonance with that person because
Yep.
you're allowing it into your energy. So if you go to sit down in front of somebody and you're not feeling it, or you go, oh, hang on, for whatever reason, it doesn't feel right, you have to trust that, because that's your own inner guidance saying that's right, or maybe it's not right for you. And it doesn't, nothing against that person, but it might not be the right person for you.
Yeah, exactly. Don't push shit up a hill. We're coming out with charmers today. Like, if it doesn't feel right, just.
Yeah,
But look,
Janice.
I'm fatigued. My vocabulary's gone downhill. My apologies, but I love Gay what she wrote. She goes, she made the Amish cough syrup for Steve. Oh my god, it was putrid, but it worked. What's the Amish one? And whilst you're writing that up, because I'm interested in this one, okay, I'm going to give you one. We had, I don't know if I told you about this one, Tonia. All was run down a little bit. Avishka wants the recipe straight away. You know what I love about Avishka? Gay says it tasted terrible, but give me the recipe. You know, it's like it's. We're going, Gay, that's the honey and garlic onion thing. I'll give you one. This is one. If you want to, Avishka, if you're actually keen, what was it? Ola had a cough about 2-3 weeks ago, and we've got a lovely client of ours. The background's Chinese, and she came in and she goes, "I've got this ancient Chinese recipe for you." And I go, "Cool, nice." And she brought it in for Ola and myself. It was beautiful, and basically it was lemon, fresh ginger, and a can of Coke. Right? And what you do is you get like a pot. Yeah, look at your head straight away, Tonia. You slice the lemon up. You put the lemon in the pot. You start to heat it up. You slice the ginger up. You put the ginger up. It slowly heats up. Then you pour a can of Coke in, a 375 ml, if you want. And then you let that, you take it to boil. And once it boils, you let it simmer down, and then you drink it. And that's it. And I've got to say, it cracked me up because she goes, it's an old Chinese ancient recipe. And I worked out Coke was invented in 1937. Okay, so it ain't that ancient. So it made me laugh. But you know what? We just said, what have we got to lose? So the following morning, I woke up and we're getting ready to work. And I've got the pot out and slicing up the lemons, put out the ginger on there, get the can of Coke. And all this going, what the hell are you doing? I go, this lady, from the goodness of her heart, has brought in a remedy that's worked for her and her family. I'm not going to disrespect this. I'm going to give this a crack. Even if it's the funniest practical joke that this lady's ever pulled off in her life, I'm still going to honor it, right? So he had it. And can I just say, it tastes bloody brilliant. It was great. We had it for 3 or 4 days. I don't know if it made us any better, but it was good. It was good. They're just saying. So you never know.
No, you never
take that one. You can take that one. That's so good for you. Ginger root, yes. Now, Gay's got its onion, garlic, honey, and then vodka. What's wrong with this? TNT, we're a bunch of alcoholics. I love it. Every remedy has alcohol in it. Hey, Gay, do you heat up any of it? Is it like a hot toddy at all? That's what I want to know. Or do you do that cold? Like, do they fuse together? Like, yeah. Kahlua straight fixes a dry cough. Do you know, Jeanette, you'll like this one. We went to a pub the other night, and we were with Ola's cousin, Paul, and he goes, "Oh, have you ever tried it? It's an Irish, no, it's a pommy drink actually, and it's where you get a pint of Guinness and you put a shot of Tia Maria in it, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know, Tonia." Makes us.
Wow. Yeah.
And I went to the bar and I said, "Excuse me, sir, can I have, 3 pints of Guinness, thank you, and 3 shots of Tia Maria?" And I go, and the bartender would have been about 20 years old, right? Around about Shelby's age. How are you, Shelby, by the way? So saw you say hello before. And the guy goes, "How do you make it to Tia Maria? What goes into it?" And I said, "Son, go home to your mother and father and ask them how to make a Tia Maria, and they'll most probably slap you a few times." So yeah, but Kahlua is always good. You know, the other one that was good. We went to. He's doing all the vacuum now for yours. Yeah, you crack me up on way too many levels. You are absolutely hilarious.
She is. I can imagine Steve doing all the vacuuming and then no one comes.
I know.
God damn it.
Jeanette, how many Kahluas did you have to have for this to work? You know, there's another one. We went to a German restaurant the other day. It's actually, you know what? I think you and Andrew would like it next time you're here in Sydney. It's called the Concordia Club. It's at Tempe. It's a rundown bowling club, and it's a German club. And they do the big pork knuckles, the schnitzels and all that, but they do the German beers and that. And they had their herbal liqueurs, and I was feeling a little bit ill over the weekend. I thought, and I went to this one herbal mixture, and it was like 43 herbs in a 30 ml shot. And all I goes, how the hell did they shove 43 herbs in this little bottle? So after 3 of them, you found out where they were. All fine.
That's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
I love it. I love it, Vitch, because how could anything with vodka be bad?
It can't. It's so Gay's saying about that, you just put it in the jar, and then hello Lisa, how are you? Good to see you on board. So then when you put it in a jar, do you let it sit for a while? Do you do something like what Avichka would do and just have a shot straight away? Like, how do you play this one out? That's what I want to know. Do you let it, you know what I mean? Tonia, do you let it infuse is what I think I'm looking for.
I would think that would be the case. If you're letting it sit, I would think that you'd be infused.
Yeah. And Gilly's already on it. She goes, I have this in my fridge. I haven't tried it yet. Mate, Gilly, go and have a shot for us. Come back on board and tell us what it tastes like, because they're all very intrigued. And if it cured anything. That's the only thing I want to know.
There you go. Let it infuse overnight. Love it, love it, love it. Tony Kiss, only a good size shot, but try it before you knock it. Then you know what the problem is, Jeanette?
I'll try, Jeanette.
He has to go and buy Kahlua.
Do they still sell it? Do you remember back in the days you'd have Kahlua and milk? That was just such a cool drink.
Yeah, that was.
It still is a cool drink, let's be honest, all right?
I can't do milky. Kim's put here, hey, Tonia, how's your cold water challenge going? Yes, really good, Kim. You know the funny part I found when I was trying to do my cold water challenge in the UK, the water doesn't go cold enough. Like, I don't know whether I was doing it wrong, but I was like, I couldn't get it to go cold. So I went, okay, I stopped my cold water challenge while I was away, but I've started it back up again. I love it.
Good on you. Yeah, good on you. That's great. Good question there. I like that one.
And it's also she's ready for a weekend of Camaro wins. I'll ask Andrew that, Kim, when I get off.
Look, you know what? Let's not even go there, Kim. Not even go there. The Mustangs will get up. In saying that, Tony Ann, hi Tony Ann, how are you? I'm late, but I hear you talking remedies. I love honey cinnamon for boosting energy. And Tony Ann, you sort of like you're bottom of the list right now because every other remedy has had alcohol in it. So you're our last go-to. But what we are going to say is I love the thought. I think it's pretty good. It's not too bad. Jeanette says in a polite way, yes, they still sell Kahlua. And Gay says it's still a cool drink. It is. Do you know what? Oh, yes, I have upset stomach Kahlua.
Wow.
Oh, don't tell the boss I'm on. Of course you're on. Shell, it's good to see you on board. Have you got any magic remedies there, Shelby? How to cure the common cold? Pharmaceutical companies have been trying to do it for years and failing, apparently, whereas we've all got the remedy.
I love it. Alcohol remedies are the best of it. Just put in there. Love it.
Look, do you know, Avichka, you'd know that as well. You know, have you ever had, Tonia, have you had Benedictine? Which is
years ago. Yeah, years and
French
years.
brandy, right? Now that was made by the Benedictine monks, and that was a herbal medicine. And what happened is that the monks would give it away for free because, you know, it had it. And what people did, like most probably all of us here on TNT, we realized that we could get drunk from it. So people started to fake illnesses to go get this medicine from the Benedictine monks. True story. So people were getting trashed, right?
That's so believable for us.
Yeah, mate, you know, imagine, it sounds like more of an Australian invention than anything else. We'd get onto it.
I love it.
Gilly, the hospitals are worthless these days. That's right, Gilly. Yeah, just go to your nearest bar. It should work out everything. Vishka, my grandma would always head for the bar when one of us was sick. It's just unbelievable.
Sorry, not alcohol, but Palo Santo is good for using around others who are sick to keep you shielded. That's a good one. Thanks, Tony Ann. Remember that one? Just a little wood that you can burn.
Oh, really? See, now that's a different one.
Yeah.
See, I like that one, Tony. And now we're getting somewhere. We're burning stuff. Here you go. Jenny's got one. If you get a bottle of Corona, drink the neck out of it. I love how Aussie doing it. Just drink the neck out of it, mate. So, Gilly, you're learning some Australian if you get here. Add a shot of tequila and then a shot of Kahlua. Then you'll have a headless chicken. Two of those.
I know you're sick. I love it.
Oh, I'll go back to Tony Ann when we get to burn stuff. Let's have a look. Avichka says there is a Czech drink that is herbal. It is awful, but it does work coming from a heritage made by absence. Yeah, look, that Eastern European stuff's pretty medieval, and it'll either cure you or give you or put a curse on you. Either which way, the cold's getting out of there really quick. All right, I like that.
Oh my God, I think this is a good wrap up for our show today. We all sound like alcoholics. At least it's a form of spirits reconnection.
That, Lisa, you've nailed that. Wrapped up. This is cannot disagree with that. That's bloody brilliant. That is really good. Tonia Reeves, welcome back to Australia. We are so happy as a community that your trip went really successful. Your cards were really well. You were really welcomed over in the UK, over in Scotland as well, which is really nice. And it sounds like you and Andrew had a beautiful time over there. So, yeah, it's so nice to hear when people come back and they've enjoyed themselves. And it looks like, things are going really well for you guys coming back in. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's a wrap. Thank you so much for everybody's contribution. Had a good laugh there just at the end about our spirits and spirits we drink as well. Thank you for jumping on board and getting involved in the silliness, because we've got to be silly every now and then. Life's too short. I know. Absolutely. And look, don't forget, if you want to connect with Tonia Reeves and have a one-on-one, get on there and do it. Get in touch with somebody who's passed away.
Yeah.
They're
there to guide us.
Yeah. When's the last time you spoke to a dead person? Do it. Just
love it.
What I do. All right, guys, have a fantastic week. If you're sick out there, we've got enough remedies on this feed that we can go through. Do you know what we should do, Tonia? Have a cocktail party, but it's everybody who's sick, right? And they're all the drinks that we've got here. You go, well, what would you like today? Just bring it over.
Now you're bound to it up.
I know, ladies and gents, let's get out of here. Namaste. Out of here. Thank you.
Okay, everyone. Take care and have a wonderful week. See you same time, same place next week. Bye for now.